once this is gone, the 0 stage is gonna light up or activate or whatever. Good. Let's talk with Werner von Kerman again. That's it. We now have a safe, well, relatively safe craft that's ready to go. Let's make sure that if we need this design again, we don't have to build it all from scratch. That would be nice. At the top of the screen, you will see the name for your craft. Untitled Spacecraft doesn't seem so majestic. Why don't you change that to be something more of your style? And you can add a description if you like to. Okay. When you use a load screen later, these names and descriptions help you to grab the right vessel. Use the pause menu to change the vessel's name. When you're happy with the name, use the pause menu to save it. What's the pause menu? What's this? Mission flag. Okay. Can I just... Okay. Oh, boy. Okay, how do I do this? Let's call it just... crappy. Because it is. Okay. And let's just... First. Good. Now get out of there. Alright. Let's talk with Werner again. Excellent work. Feel free to play around with the parts and techniques I've shown you, and when you're ready to continue, use the pause menu to exit. I want to fly this thing. Back at the training menu, try the Flight Basics tutorial to learn how to fly this little craft, and then the Intermediate Construction tutorial can teach you more about the editor. Note, any vessels you create here will be lost when you exit. This is just for playing around. Okay. Well, since we can't fly this here, let's get out of here. End scenario. It's gonna be lost anyway, so don't save. Training. Basic flight. So, what's going on here? Gene Kerman. Welcome to the Kerbal Space Center launch facility. I'm Gene Kerman, and I'll teach you the basics of piloting a spacecraft. I trust you've already checked the basic construction tutorial. You betcha. If not, I recommend you do so before going through this one. Today we'll do a run-through of all the important controls for a spacecraft. Our little hopper from your basic construction lesson with Werner may not have all of them, but maybe we'll do a full run-through once and see how it flies. By the time I got to the end of the sentence, I had forgotten the first part of the sentence, so I don't know what I read exactly right now. The important controls. Okay, continue on. Flying a spacecraft is all about being in control of a generally very chaotic situation. As a pilot, your main flight controls will affect the pitch, yaw, and roll of the ship. Let's look at those first. All the other controls will be locked until they are needed for this tutorial is closed. Okay. Pitch, yaw, and roll are the 3 directions you will rotate your craft. To help you visualize these, we've taken a holiday snap of the hopper below. Okay, so yaw is this, roll is this, and pitch. Okay, that's something to wrap your mind around before you move on. This is going to take me a while. Sorry, I'm just wrapping my head around this. Next up, we'll see how we rotate in these directions. Okay. I should have taken a screenshot from that crap. Can I go back? Please? No. You control your ship's rotation using these controls. L, pitch up, down, and yaw left, right. L2, L3, roll left, right. Okay. Pitch up, down, and yaw left, right. By controlling pitch, yaw, and roll together, you can keep the ship in a controlled flight. You can, but you need to know what you're doing first. Try it now and notice the indicator on the lower left side move as you provide control input. Okay, I will. Oh yeah, right there. Yaw. And this is pitch. So yaw was... If I look at this from this angle, and I'm gonna rotate it left or right, okay, good. pitch was backwards, forwards, and roll. How was roll again? Like this. Is just rolling the thing around. Okay. Okay. Bear with me, folks, as I do this. Throttle plus pitch, yaw, and roll are the main controls you'll need to master for a successful crash-free flight. We'll skip over the throttle control for now, as this vessel has no need for it. Okay? Don't worry, I'll explain it another time when it's of use. Remember that all of these controls have a limited amount of effectiveness, so bigger, heavier ships will probably respond much more sluggishly to the controls than a little small one. Okay? It's also good to keep in mind that as stages are separated from the ship, it will become lighter, and this will usually mean easier to control. Next, let's look at the rest of the flight controls. In flight, all the planning you put into the staging sequence of your ship comes into play. From launch to the final deployment of the descent parachutes, you can control the activation of several of the ship's parts by activating stages. X, launch, activate, next phase. Alright. Notice the stage indicator in the lower left corner. It used to be at the lower right. It isn't anymore for some reason. It shows the currently active stage. Since we haven't launched yet, it's showing the first stage as active. What's the difference to the 0 stage? I don't see any highlight or color variation. It just says 774 meters per second. Standing still, by the way. Physics, everybody. I have your staging controls locked for now, so the stage indicator is glowing purple. Alright, okay, it's next to the 001 thing. One more thing on staging. If the staging setup is causing strife, or you change your mind about something, you can edit the stage sequence on the fly. Pun intended, no need to go back to the assembly facility. Okay, good. Oh crap, what is this? An important part of flying is knowing how your ship is oriented and where it is going. That's why a good pilot is always aware of the ship's attitude, where it is pointing, and its velocity vector, where it is going. Okay. How do I see that on the thing down there? Throttle, force, surface, bunch of numbers. Okay. These aren't always the same direction, where I'm pointing and where I'm going, and as your skills improve, you should pick up on these. Okay. Obviously, in space, there's inertia, and if you go in one direction, you can roll around or yaw around or whatever, turn yourself, still going in the same direction. Right. The big round instrument on the lower center of the screen is called the nav ball. This device sums up most of the critical information needed for proper death-free flight. They're preparing us for something here, right? Here you see the ship's nose in relation to the horizon. When you're not pointing straight up, it's easily visible as a line between blue sky and the brown ground. What? Let's read that again. Here you see the ship's nose in relation to the horizon. When you're not pointing straight up, it's easily visible as a line between blue sky and the brown ground. The horizon, okay. As well as its heading, compass bearing, and speed. Okay, the ship's nose in relation to the horizon. Right. So right now I don't see any horizon because I'm pointing upwards, right? So, yeah. Okay. You also get several icons that indicate things like your current velocity vector, but we'll have a look at those later. Thank God, I can't remember any more of this. Trial and error, yeah, it's gonna be more error than trial. In the top center part of the screen, you have your altimeter, vertical speed indicator, and atmospheric gauges. Right. What's the second thing? Vertical speed indicator. Altimeter, that's the meters we are. 74 meters, that's the height of our little vehicle there. How do I zoom in again? I forget. Like this. Okay. So this thing is 74 meters tall, possibly a little higher because the I'm guessing 74. where does this count from? From where the command module is, or where one of the poor little Kerbals we put in there sit, or is it really the top of the thing? Maybe it's the top of the thing, I don't know. Anyway, the altimeter will show the distance to the planet's surface at sea level. This means the actual surface may be much closer, so watch out for the ground when landing. Right. Your vertical speed indicator shows how quickly your altitude is changing. When launching, it's considered best to keep this gauge pointing up. Huh? When launching, it's considered best to keep this gauge pointing up. Alright. The atmosphere gauge indicates how deep the ship is in the planet's atmosphere. This helps you know if the ship is high enough for orbiting without losing speed or to air resistance. Okay, interesting. Or judge how effective wings and control surfaces will be. Right.
Let us play the game.
It's gonna be a while till we play the game. This is gonna be the first stream, by the way, everybody. Us going through the tutorial missions. One last thing before we give this rocket the green light. Ooh!
Finally.
In the staging stack, you can see the indicator for your parachute. Staging stack. That's the lower left thing. Okay. This indicator shows when the chute will be activated by staging. You already know that. Should I? Really? Do I? But the background will also change color to indicate when it's safe to stage the parachute, and the foregrounds, the parachute bit of the icon itself, will change color depending on the parachute's state. Note, however, that by default, parachutes will not deploy when unsafe, even if you stage them. Staging something just means getting rid of the previous stage, right? So if we launch and the rocket runs out of fuel and I get rid of the rocket, we're staging, I guess. So what does the background color indicate again? When it is safe to stage the parachute, okay? And the foreground will change depending on the parachute state. Right. The left 3 shows safety. Safe, risky, and unsafe to deploy. Okay, that's the background changing. The chute is unstaged, white, in the left 3. Okay. The right 3 shows state after staging. Armed, deployed, cut, shredded. When you're familiar with chute icon colors, we can move on. Okay, let's memorize this. Moving on. Okay, enough talk. I'll unlock the flight controls and you'll be clear for launch. At any time you may press pause to pause the game. In the pause menu you can restart the flight, blah blah blah. For now, get yourself prepared and X when ready to launch. Don't forget, our hopper has only a solid rocket motor, so there is no throttle control. That's why we didn't review the throttle here. Make sure to fly in a nice high arc and enjoy the flight. Alright, I'm zooming out of here, just so I can read chat if anybody wants to tell me what I'm doing wrong. So I need to press X. So the stage light at the lower left there is now flashing green, which was glowing purple before. So if I press X, we launch. Ooh! What if I let go? Oh, it'll just go. Okay. Nice. Look at that. Okay. We're out of, more or less out of fuel. Let's zoom in again. I think we are out of fuel. Right, so what to do now? And up you go. Oh crap, I should be reading this, shouldn't I? You can try practicing some of the controls we just discussed. Ooh, this is... we are rolling. Okay, let's stop rolling. Can I yaw? Okay. Ooh, let's not... easy. Easy. Ooh. Right. And what's the other thing? That's pitch. Okay, I see. That's the horizon. So is the lower nav ball thing always in relation to Earth? To Kerbal or whatever it's called? Or is it in relation to... does it change relation to wherever we're going maybe? Or I don't know, maybe that's something for a later tutorial. Alright, let's maybe get out of here before we die. We are pointing downwards. Let's press X. Okay, we staged something, didn't we? Houston? No, it's all good. Okay, we deployed the parachute. Is it happening? Uh-huh.
Going to.
Would you please deploy? How high up are we? We're at 4 kilometers and falling very rapidly. Come on, open up. I'm pressing X like a moron here and nothing happens. We are going to die. Our little Kerbal friend here is looking pretty happy though. Come on, open up. Ooh, something's happening. Sweet. Mm-hmm. Good. What's our pilot's name, by the way? I can't read that. Valentina Kerbal. Okay. She survived. I'm very happy about that. We moved a little bit off to the side. Where was the launch pad? Ooh, quite a bit. Actually, it's over there. Or was it over there? It's somewhere over there. Right. 74 we should be landing. Booyah! 69. Also a good number. Moving on. What does it say here? Well done! You've survived your first quick flight. That wasn't a sure thing, by the way. When you're landed or splashed on Kerbal and not in training, you can move the cursor just above the altimeter and press X on the recover button on the panel that slides down to ask to be picked up. Let's give that a try. Can I? Okay, I can't have the cursor. Oh, I can. Recover. Okay. Good. I've also unlocked the crew hatch, so if you feel like going out for a walk or swim, you can change to cursor mode pressing L3 and then press X on the EVA, extravehicular activity button. Where is that? It will pop up when you move the cursor over the portrait of the Kerbal you want to take for a walk, okay? This concludes today's lesson. Okay, let's give that a quick try. EVA. Where am I? Let's zoom in. Sorry, I'm still getting used to the controls here. There we are. Climb out. Let go. Oh. Boom. Okay, that wasn't very graceful, but it's all right. I may want to invert the controls. The up and down is alright, but the left and right is... I don't know, maybe it's okay. It's gonna take a little getting used to. Can I run or do something? No. Just gonna walk around here. Sorry, I'm... Like I said, still getting used to the controls. Can I jump? Ooh! Boom. Let's try that again. She's still a little woozy from going up into, well, not into space, but into the lighter parts of the atmosphere of Earth, of Kerbal. Alright, we're done with this tutorial. Let's get out of here. How do I do that? Resume flight? Nope. End scenario. There it is. Alright. Training. Let's do the next one. Intermediate construction. And there's Werner von Kerbal again. Hello again, glad you could come back. To get started, go ahead and enter the VAB. Let's do that. It's right down there somewhere. Here we are again, now to business. If you remember, in our last construction tutorial we covered how to build a simple hopper and some of the basics of the construction area. In this tutorial we'll expand your knowledge of some of the more useful features in the VAB and we'll build a more complex craft. Excuse me. That will be able to get us out of the atmosphere. Good. To build our own design, let's start with the craft we built in the basic construction tutorial. So this one is just called Hopper. This will save us a little bit of time, and the accounting department is always happy when we save on time. Good. Open pause menu. Select Open Craft.